Welcome to Pastors Forum. Hi, I'm Byron Tyler. Glad you could join us on this week's program. Today we want to welcome from Grace Creek Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Patrick Tucker. Pastor, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Byron.
We got acquainted through our general manager, Todd Payne. I believe you preached at his church recently.
Absolutely. We had an opportunity to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr., his birthday, and my church, along with other churches, we got together, black, white, we got together and worshiped the Lord, and I got a chance to meet Todd at that church, and it was a wonderful occasion.
The history of your church is amazing.
Yes.
It goes back to the 1840s.
Yes, 1843. The church was started by two slaves, Free Joe Harris and another minister, Simon Price. They were allowed to have service back in that day. Slaves got together and they had opportunity to worship the Lord. It was just a wonderful opportunity to come together, and it's some rich heritage.
How do you think that history has helped formulate the ministry throughout the years at Grace Creek?
Well, it has helped a lot because even in the month of February, we're celebrating 172 years of existence. And that is a humbling experience for me to be a pastor there, to be a pastor of a church with so much heritage, so much history, and I don't take it for granted. And God is doing amazing things on that spot of ground. He's blessing us in a mighty way, and we thank God for the miracles. We thank God for the transformation. We thank God for what He's doing for us.
Now, I believe you told me, Patrick, you have been there for about, is it 3 years now?
Yes, it'll be my third year of pastoring that church in October of this year.
Well, tell me about the call and the grand arrival, and what was it that brought you to Grace Creek?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was born and raised up in that church.
Were you?
Yeah, my dad was a long-time deacon at that church, and he served as a Sunday school superintendent. My mother, she was a long-time member of that church, and I was just a little boy running around the church, and now God has called me to pastor the church that I grew up in.
Grace Creek is running through your blood.
Yes, absolutely, yes. The former pastor, Reverend Wiley Harris, he pastored there for 35 years, and I got called into the ministry, and I served under him for 8 years as associate minister, and God just blessed me and called me to pastor that church.
I've got to ask you this. What about some of the elderly members of the church that remember you and have stories and history on you? Did they give you a hard time sometimes?
They love me. They love me. It is a wonderful opportunity. I'm in a unique position, but God has blessed me in that position. Those who saw me as a child in that church, now that I'm pastoring them, and it's been a wonderful experience.
I really like the illustration there, too. You know,
Yeah.
so oftentimes a pastor comes from a different, part of the country
Yes.
or a different church maybe in town,
Yes.
and doesn't have, history, with the folks. But, I mean,
Yes.
there's something to be said for that, too.
Yes. Only God could do that. And I realized that only God could do it because when you think about pastoring a church that you were raised in, you could see the level of difficulty that could present itself. But I'm thankful that God is blessing us in such a way that He's adding to the church, but not only adding to the church. We have members who've been there a long time, and they support me.
What were some of the challenges for you, or fears or reservations you had about being the pastor there? Or did you have any?
Not fears or challenges. I knew that God called me to that congregation, to pastor that congregation. The former pastor, he did such a wonderful job of preparing me and grooming me for that congregation. And not fears, not challenges, but opportunity. And I still see it as an opportunity.
Let's talk about that a minute, because I think God gives us all kinds of opportunities.
Yes.
Some we take advantage of,
Yes.
and some we shy away from.
Right. And that was a situation for me. Once God showed me that, hey, I'm calling you to pastor Grace Creek, that was something that I had to accept and the blessings that come with it, with knowing the people there, and also the challenges that come with it. And God is blessing us in such a great way that we are having so many who are being baptized. We have so many who have been added to the church, new members, and God is just blessing us. And I'm just sitting back just thanking God for what he's doing here at our church.
Go back into those growing up years with mom and dad.
Yes.
Some of the values you learned. What kind of work did your dad do?
My dad, he worked for Arlington Development Center for a long time, and my mom, she did not work. She raised the children. She was that godly mother, and with the training I received at home, I came from a Christian background. Father, he loved the Lord. Mother, who loved the Lord, and received great training. And just like every other child or every other person in life, you're gonna stray away. But, the teachings that they set forth in the beginning, I never forgot that. They taught me about the Lord. They taught me about Jesus Christ and the love of Christ. And I'm standing on the principles that they taught me, and I thank God for them. Both of them have passed. Both of them are in glory down here in heaven. My father, he passed in 2003 of a sudden heart attack. My mom passed in 2005 of cancer, but just the principles that they left behind. And I thank God for that training because it prepared me for what I'm doing now.
Patrick, any humorous memories or stories growing up, things that, that really stand out to you?
I remember Mom often telling me about times where we had this little red rocking chair that I had as a baby. And I was so bad, you cut up so much, he had to tie me to a chair just to sit me down. But I truly do thank God for those wonderful memories. I thank God for parents who raised me up in the Lord.
Something about being a parent, you learn a lot about patience, or
yes.
At least your patience is often challenged.
Right.
Tell me about your spouse. How did you meet?
Yeah.
What's your wife's name?
Camille. My wife's name is Camille. As a matter of fact, my wife, she was raised in that church as well. Her family, they left for a while, but it just so happened that we reunited with each other when the former pastor doing his anniversary celebration, her family came back, and I was an associate minister, so looking for a wife, and it just so happened that I saw her, and that's the end of the story.
What was the initial contact? I mean, did you approach her? Did somebody introduce you to her? What was that first meeting like?
Well, I already knew her from being raised in the church together, and when we saw each other, we just felt that connection, and we kept in contact, and we went from keeping in contact to dating, and went from dating to being married. We got married in July 2012.
How soon was it after you first started dating you realized this is the woman that God had for you?
I knew pretty soon.
Yeah,
pretty soon. We felt that connection. We could tell, and
so she was on the same page.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
yes, absolutely. And I thank God for we are traveling this journey together, and we thank God for the great things He's doing at Grace Creek.
What do you feel like Camille, in the way that she compliments you in the home, your ministry, family? What are some things that really stand out to you about her?
Camille is real reserved. She's real quiet, and me, on the other hand, I'm kind of, the reverse of that. But as far as being that partner, even the congregation, they'll say, my wife, she don't say much, but, she's right there to support me and to help me in this work. And when you go home and after a long day of pastoring and preaching, you need someone to rely on and to kind of banish the wounds.
You'd really do that. What about children?
One son.
One son?
Jalen, yes.
Tell me about Jalen.
Jalen, he's 15, and he's a wonderful son, and I truly do thank God for him.
Is there any signs that Jalen might be interested in following Dad and being a preacher?
I don't know. I'm watching. I'm watching to see. I'm watching to see. I just thank God for what God is doing at Grace Creek, and we'll see.
What do you and Jalen like to do? Just father and son hanging out together. What are some things you guys enjoy doing?
I tell you, we have some family competition in Monopoly, and every time me, Jalen, and my wife, when we play Monopoly, I win every time. Just to let you know.
I mean, is there any tension there with the family when it comes to game time?
No, just me winning.
Just you winning. As long as everybody knows you're going to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can get close as a family playing a game like Monopoly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Just coming at the family table, just spending time with each other.
So you're always making sure you get Boardwalk and Park Place, I'm assuming.
Trying to get all of it.
Trying to get that. A lot of hotels, too?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Grace Creek is located in the Arlington area? Where exactly?
Yes, we're right off of Highway 64. We are actually 7 miles east of the Wolf Chase Mall on Highway 64. If you're traveling east on Highway 64, you pass Houston Levee. If you're going down a little bit more, we're right on the left-hand side. 64 in Inglewood. It used to be Airline Road. Everyone knows it as Airline Road, but we're right there at Highway 64 in Inglewood.
Pastor, what are some of the things that your folks are facing as families, singles? What are some of the issues just in life that you're having to keep, keep your people connected with when it comes to the scriptures and just help move them on in their relationship with Christ? It's
striking that you asked that question, because right now the Lord has me dealing with a series on faith, and to make it in this world and this walk, this Christian journey, you're going to need faith. You got to hold on to your faith. And, as far as singles, married people who are having problems in their relationships, maybe on your job, you're struggling on your job, the important essential is faith, having faith in God. It's easy to praise God when everything's going well and everything is positive in your life. You got friends, you got loved ones. It's easy to praise God then and serve God then. But how about them difficult times, those trials and those tribulations? Can you serve God in those rough times? And in those rough times, that's when it really takes your faith to really step in and say, you know what, I'm going to make it with the help of the Lord, with the love of Jesus Christ. I'm going to make it through this situation. So I'm dealing with a series on faith right now, and it has tremendously blessed the church.
I heard a story one time of a tightrope walker that was going to take a wheelbarrow across a line,
Right.
And he grew an audience, and they were all cheering him on, and he filled this wheelbarrow up with a couple of few bricks.
Yeah.
And he said, how many people think I can push that wheelbarrow across that tightrope? And everybody's cheering, yeah, you can do that, And of course, there he did. He pushed it to the other side, and then he brought it back, and he said, how many think I can do that blindfolded? And everybody's going, a little more reserved, but yeah, some people cheered. And he did it.
Right.
Came back, and he took the bricks out. He said, now, how many think if you, sir, get in this wheelbarrow, I can safely push you over there and back?
Absolutely.
And that's really where faith is a picture comes into reality with us,
That's right.
When he gets down to it. Are we really willing to trust God, Pastor?
That's right. And that's what it's all about, trusting God in those difficult times, because the difficult times are going to come. They're going to come in your life, but will you trust God in those difficult times? And that's why Jesus said in Matthew 28, I'll never leave thee nor forsake thee. In the good times, Jesus, he's with you, and in the difficult times, he's with you in the difficult times. You just got to trust him and believe that he knows what you're going through and what's going on in life.
I want to pick this conversation back up next week if we can and continue talking about
absolutely
difficult times and also the ministry of Grace Creek Missionary Baptist Church. You told us where you're located at there in Arlington.
Right.
What about service times? When do you have service?
We start on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Sunday school starts at 9 a.m. and our service starts at 10:30 a.m.
Do you have a website?
You can reach us on Facebook, facebook.com/Grace Creek Church, or you can email us at info@gcmbaptistchurch.org, or you can call us at 901-867-8436.
Now, somebody wanted to call you personally and maybe talk. Is there a phone number they can call?
Yes, they can reach me at 901-867-7701.
7701?
Yes, sir.
All right, Pastor Patrick Tucker
of
Grace Creek Missionary Baptist Church, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Byron.
If it's okay, we're going to come back next week.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to pick it back up. Friends, thanks for listening to this week's Pastors Forum. I'm Byron Tyler. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.